I feel a little rusty. I'm like, it's been in different places. I'm excited to do an episode of the three of us. We need to do an episode of just the three of us soon
I
because
agree.
I miss you guys.
I agree. I think so. I think we need to do that.
How's it going on your Wednesday?
Wednesday is good. Wednesday is busy. Wednesday is, I think every day is busy now, and it's crunch time with sort of the competition. And I'm sort of looking forward to not talking about the competition anymore. And um, but it's exciting, and things are getting tough at this point. So it'll be exciting for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. For those that don't know that are joining, can you explain more about the competition? Because people are obviously going to assume, like, oh, it's male modeling, like,
Always.
competition, but I know that's not exactly what it is. What is it?
I do it all. So weirdly enough, there's two competitions going on right now. So one was a big surprise. One of them was deliberate. Um, First one is the radical body transformation competition is going to be on Friday, June 7th in Toronto. It's part of the Toronto Pro Show, which is going to be amazing. That is a professional bodybuilding show that I've always followed when I was younger. This competition is going to be it's like a bodybuilding competition, but it's all about the whole transformation story. So it's not even about just weight loss. It could be about people regaining their life back as a result of a different surgery, an accident, or whatever the case might be, recovering from an illness. So it's going to be very inspirational just to be around all those people, and I am looking forward to cheering them on as they get on stage, because I don't care. I'll be in my underwear all over the place.
Well,
But like
that's your natural habitat.
that's
That's
exactly
what you're
right.
always doing.
100%. But like for a lot of those people, I've been watching a lot of the live stream from last year,
Uh-huh.
and to see some of these people get up there, and I know it's totally out of their comfort zone. I'm really, really looking forward to doing that with them and celebrating that with them. So yeah, I'm in two divisions. I'm in the lifestyle division as well as the fit division. I told my trainer that I'm going all out and trying to do it as close to a bodybuilding competition as I can. So
Cool.
I have 23 days left, I believe, and yeah, I'm tired.
That's
We're kind of
exciting.
bring the leggings back, Rob. This says Eric, 100%, man. No leggings, actually. It'll just be straight legs. Just there it
Is
is.
this like the fittest you've ever been in your life?
100%,
Is
100%.
there anything like you want to do? Because like I think I mean I'm still embracing the world, learning about fitness and stuff, but it's kind of one of those things like you're not probably going to be in this condition forever because it's not sustainable, right?
Right.
Like, is there anything you want to do, like knowing that this is going to be like one of your peak like fitness times, like just something weird or like kind of crazy that you won't be able to do like when you're not? Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Interestingly enough, so the other competition, which is um, through Muscle and Fitness magazine, which is a magazine
Which is
I
linked in our bio. You guys can go vote for Rob, by the way. We put it
yes.
in there.
Yeah, that was a magazine I grew up reading, right? And so, with the Mr. Health and Fitness competition, I was talking to someone at the gym, and he used to do photography for a lot of the bodybuilding competitions as well
Mhm.
as the magazines. And he actually asked me, he said, "Would you like to do a free photo shoot if we can get a gym?"
Yes.
So I was like, "Oh my god, that would be friggin' awesome." So yes, I would love to do that. That's one of the things, because I'd like to look back on this. Like my goal is to not be at this shape forever, but I don't want to be far off from this,
Sure. Mhm.
right? Like I'd like to maintain some sort of abs
Mhm.
development moving forward, which would be amazing. So that's the thing. I just really want to take that picture. And again, thank you everyone for all the support. I am currently number one in my group. I think tomorrow is
Wow.
the final, and then after that, it's going to move over to the next cut, which is going to be, I think, top 10 or top 15 in my
Mhm.
group. But the votes are all cumulative, so until I get to the like semifinals or quarterfinals, they reset. But I appreciate all the support, everyone. Thank you so much.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Well, exciting stuff. Well, if you guys want to, those that are oldies but goodies, this is the happy hour, our prelude to the show where we talk about non-scale victories. Obviously, that's a huge non-scale victory for you, Rob. But I thought it might be helpful because we have Wingham Mom, I think it's she because mom, but
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong. She said, "Hello, I've been listening for a while to your recorded podcast, but today's my first live one. Hello from, I'm going to butcher the name.
Let's hear it.
Oh gosh.
No, take a swing at it.
Hello from Saskatchewan,
What?
Canada. Did
Good
I, did
job,
I get it?
Saskatchewan. Yeah, you
Oh,
killed it.
okay. All right. So
Hello,
welcome.
Wingham Mom.
We're trying to build our Canadian nation. So,
Yeah,
and I'm the only non-Canadian who's going to be on the show tonight. So
correct.
the more the merrier.
Yeah, and the journey to a healthier me, also Canadian.
Nice. We're building our
Yeah,
little Canadian army. Keep
100%.
telling your friends.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
So maybe we should just do like a little introduction while people are sending us our non-scale victories. But why don't you introduce yourself, Rob, and tell a little bit about the podcast and who we are, and
Um,
for those that might be new.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rob slash Waiting in Vain. Yeah, this is the podcast. This is the Waiting Table podcast, which we started a year and a bit ago, I think, with Murph and I. Originally, the whole point was to create a podcast for men because when we had our bariatric surgery, it's for me, it's going to be 4 years in September. For Murph, it's a year afterwards. When we were going through our surgery, we really didn't have anyone to sort of emulate and look towards, someone to contact to just ask the day-to-day, everyday questions that you don't want to ask your medical team. And so that was the whole idea behind why we started it, and we named it the Waiting Table because the table is where we often break bread with our family and friends and come together and share stories and our experiences. And so we wanted to invite our bariatric family to our table. And then the other part was waiting tables in terms of like as a profession. Waiting tables means that we are in service. And so we want to make sure we are always in service to our community that always has given so much to us. So we want to continue that feeling. And then a few months after, we found that we were getting a lot of questions, even though the idea was to have a male centric podcast. We were getting a lot of female questions that we didn't
About
exactly have about
periods,
periods and hormones
hormones,
and
all the
all those
stuff.
fun stuff. Yes. And yeah, we didn't know how to speak on those things through experience. So we happened to meet Shea, who we hit it off right away. We actually tricked Shea to being
Mm-hmm. True
we tried.
story.
Yeah, we were just like, oh yeah, come on, we want to have you on the show and we want to talk to you. And then we were really just like interviewing her to see how the fit was. And then, yeah, we called her back just a few minutes afterwards and we're just like, yes, would you
I
like to?
think the only question they really asked me was like, "Are you okay talking about periods?" And I was like, yeah, I love talking about periods."
Yeah.
And I think that was it.
Yeah. That was a prerequisite. We just need someone to answer questions about periods. And yeah, everything has been great. I think, um, we've had a wide variety of different people coming and joining us every week, and we are forever thankful and grateful for all the support and for sharing all this with you guys. So thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, Rob is 4 years post-op. He had gastric bypass,
Mhm.
RNY, and I am 2 years post-op, and I had the vertical sleeve gastrectomy. So, yeah, and I mean, you said it all pretty well. So it's just I always look forward to getting together. And normally we have Murph who's on with us too, who we love, but he's taking some time with his family tonight. So it's just me and Rob and but yeah, so if you're new, thanks for joining us. And so during this little portion, the 30 minutes leading up to like our formal show, which isn't like that big of a difference, but you'll get sexy time music in between.
It's key. Key.
It's a very important part of the secret sauce.
Yep.
But this is just where we kind of like chat and we talk about non-scale victories. So non-scale victories are things to celebrate that don't have anything to do with the scale. And I know there's definitely been points in my journey of just my life, not even just in my weight loss journey, but where the scale has been such a prominent feature in my life. And
Yeah.
especially when you have bariatric surgery, it can just be a big mental thing of like the scale's not moving. So part of that is looking at the other victories that have nothing to do with the scale. Because I know for me, for Rob, for Murph, we all did this to get our lives back, to be healthier people for our families. And so those are the things that we try to focus on, especially when scale stuff can get kind of wiggy. So
Mm.
um, even if you haven't had bariatric surgery, you can still play this little game, if you will, because they're just victories that have nothing to do with the scale. So feel free to put in your non-scale victories, and we always love like celebrating with you. So I saw one from Bob, and I just saw a
Mhm.
picture of Bob. I think it was one of his face-to-face Fridays, but I just like kept staring at it, not in a creepy
Yeah.
way, Bob, but I was just like, "Oh my gosh, like there's just been such a big change in your life over this last year." So he said, "1 year post-op visit this week and all my numbers improved and everyone was happy with the progress." That's so exciting.
Yeah. That's
Congratulations.
amazing, Bob. And I've been, obviously we've been following Bob for a long time. Right after he had his surgery, he came on to Happy Hour and he jumped on with us, and um he was able to we were able to sort of talk with him, all groggy and in pain and feeling uncomfortable. But we've seen so many, all these posts that he's added with his progress and all the different things he's finding. It's very inspirational, Bob. You're killing it. Congratulations.
Yes. Um, we have Wookie's wifey. I love that. I don't know. I
I
love
like that
saying
name.
that. I do
Yeah.
too. Do you want to read that one, Rob? I don't
Hmm.
want to steal all the fun
No,
because
no.
you know I will.
I know you will. Wookie's wifey 14 said NSV was my boot camp was canceled and I went home and walked on the treadmill. It was so tempting to snuggle up during a thunderstorm. That is amazing. Um,
Yes.
and the reason why that is so amazing, Wookie's wifey, how far post-op are you if you've had um, bariatric surgery? Let us know. But the reason why I think that is important is because like this is all those habits that um, will equal our long-term success, right?
Mhm.
Oftentimes we'll look at um, that first year and it's so exciting because we've lost so much weight and we're able to do all this stuff and we're super motivated. But then
Mhm.
after a while, things may slow down, and being able to maintain these habits is really what's going to help us be successful for a longer period of time. Year and a half post-op, awesome. Yeah, so yeah, you're killing it. Good
Exciting.
job.
Yeah, that's something I've been in maintenance now probably for about a year,
Mhm.
roughly. And it's been a weird time of that, like where it's like my whole life I've been so focused on my weight, trying to lose weight. And so it's been fun, but scary, and also like an unexpected grieving process of
Yeah,
like letting go of certain goals, creating new goals, focusing on different things. And so that's what that made me think of too, of like, yeah, it's nice to have fitness kind of as a goal and doing it for different reasons than I've done it in the past, and super awesome.
for sure.
D said Bob is looking phenomenal. Alpha dog. Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Let's see, Lee. I always want to say
I know.
Lee. Said NSV for me is that I have had multiple people not recognize me in the last few weeks. Yes, when people like do
Oh,
the
that was
double
good.
take, or they're like, "Oh, I didn't realize that was you." That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's really awesome when you're having a conversation with them
Mhm.
and they have no idea that you guys have known each other for like your whole lifetime.
Yeah.
It's always fun.
Um, do you wanna read Wingham Mom?
Yeah. Wing a mom. I am 4 months post-op RNY gastric bypass, and I fit my wedding rings again after many years of looking at my rings in a cup on my drawer, which is so incredible. That
Yay!
is awesome. That's a
That's
really,
so
really, really good
awesome.
one.
And it's gonna get to the point probably where you'll have to even get them resized. I just got my ring resized a couple months ago.
I can't
That's
wear mine, that's why they're here.
yeah, I love
Yeah.
it. No, that's a huge, NSV. That's super, super cool.
Yeah.
My gastric sleeve
Ooh, I like this
odyssey.
one.
Yes, she said, after dealing with COVID and dehydration for over a week, today I've already reached my water goal. Yes, get it,
Yeah.
girl.
That's a good one too because, like, it has nothing to do with
Mhm.
fitness or the scale or anything like that. It really, when we're looking at our whole journey, a lot of times we it's easy for us to look at that negative, right?
Mhm.
And it's just like, oh, I slipped on one meal. This whole day is done for, right?
Mhm. That all
But
or nothing mindset.
yeah, but, like, if you look at all of the different small things that we do to head towards our goal and all the different habits that we're trying to build to head towards our goal, you have way more wins every single day that's that's
Mhm.
that's going in the direction of your goal than things that are sabotaging it. So,
Yeah.
really, for the most part, it should be us celebrating all these little wins. So that's a really, really good one. I enjoyed that one.
Mhm. You wanna read D's?
Yeah. D's been with his new company for a month now. People are in complete shock when I tell them I was over 300 pounds 2 years ago. That's part of the fun of going somewhere new too, right? Like,
Yeah.
conversation starts going and you keep talking and then, you drop them with the weight loss bomb and yeah,
Mhm.
that's awesome.
It's so I was thinking about that. I can't remember. I think I was maybe talking to Dylan, that's my husband, um, about it, but, like, it's so weird, like, all of the people in the bariatric community that I know, like, didn't know me when I was at my highest weight, and not
Yeah.
that it's about weight, but just when I was such a different person 2 years ago, and it's so weird that, like, I didn't know anybody where it's like, you guys have just known me as who I am today and
Yeah.
who I'm growing, and, it's almost like reinventing yourself, like, when you go away to college and you're like, "Oh, I can just be whoever I wanna be," and, like,
Yeah.
that's what being in this community has been like for me. It's just it's wild.
So let me ask you and everyone else in chat as well. Like, personality wise, who you are, how you interact with people, do you find that it has changed? Like, I know some people have said that, I'm just a different version of me, or I'm the same person, I just look differently. I know I'm completely different.
Mhm.
Um, I'm very similar in many ways, but I think I'm completely different. How about you?
Yeah, definitely very different. My journey has felt more like a homecoming where I feel
Hmm.
like this is who I've always been. So it's almost like I'm back to who I was when I was like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. That's kind of like
Yeah.
how I feel like I am now. Um, but yeah, definitely my motivations behind things are so different now, where I think a lot of my motivation before was coming from this need to like prove that I was worthy. So it came out in a lot of like people pleasing habits and things that just like weren't healthy for me. And
Yeah.
then this journey has just helped me do a lot more internal work and self-reflection. And so my motivation is just completely different for the things that I choose to do, which on the same token of that, I do very different things now because the motivation for what I'm wanting is very different. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's why like I don't it's weird to think about the connections I've made in this community because I don't know that I would have made those same
For
connections not
sure.
because of other people, but just because of where I was at. I didn't think I was worthy of that
Yeah.
back in that time. And just to clarify too, like I don't think that having weight loss surgery is what made me a worthy person. I've been worthy all along. It's just that was the catalyst to my self-discovery journey of learning more about myself. So I always like to clarify that because it's not like if you doesn't matter what weight you are, shape or size, like that's not what determines worth in my opinion. But that was just the first time I started asking those questions and realizing it for myself. So
Nice. Nice. All right, let's see. We got lots of things in
I
chat.
know.
Uh,
I this is actually one thing that applies to me in the sense of, like, where I'm a different person. Sharky Chicky, love the
yeah,
name also. She said, "I installed a new coolant tank in my car by myself," and that is so freaking cool. Like, stuff like that, I
yeah,
feel a lot more, sure of myself of like trying new things and like being okay if I make a mistake or if I don't do it right. And so I feel like I take more risks in that way. And so good for you, girl. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Business bully, hey, y'all, plastics are the best. Then stay
Woo-hoo.
tuned because we have
Yes.
Dr. Shivers on. Uh, D will definitely be staying tuned because
Yeah,
Dr.
I know
Shivers.
you will.
Yeah, like, oh, fine, D's here on the show, especially because Dr. Chivers here. Eric Seepak, I'm training for my next marathon. Eric, you are friggin' killing it. Eric,
Yeah.
Eric had plastics recently, or not recently, but a little bit ago, and I hope you're doing amazing. But yeah, let us know how it's helping with your running too, because I know that that was a big difference when I got the skin removal.
D answered your question to you, or asking kind of like if
Yes.
people are different or personalities. And he said, more confident. I used to wait for people to come to me. Now I walk into new spaces and say hi. I don't care what people think. Just I'm laughing because it's like that's so true. Like you're just like the life of the party, D. And not in like a very like I'm
Yeah.
here, not kind of that way, but just you're so like I feel like I gravitated towards you right away. Like you like I think
Yeah.
people gravitate towards D where he has that just like good, confident energy that like you just want to be like in the same orbit of.
Agree.
So
Agree.
I love it.
Let's see. Eric agrees.
Dr.
Oh, Dr.
Shivers.
Shivers, who was just heading back to the office, got kids to bed. Don't go back to the
I
office.
know. Why are you going? Just stay home.
He likes to look very clinical. He's gonna
Like
be in
very
his thing. He's like,
professional.
"Hello,
And then you
I'm
get
Dr.
him on the
Shivers."
dance floor and all of that goes
Yep,
right out the window. We
gone.
learned that.
It's gone. Let's see.
Eric said, running without the jiggly belly skin is a game changer. Yes.
Yes,
And I love wearing tank tops to the gym now. I don't know. I think forego the tank top, Eric. Just
for
take it
sure.
all off at this point.
That's what I do, but get kicked out of the gym.
Screaming kids, offices, sanctuary.
Yes, yes. That I will agree with you there. Yeah, that's what my last vacation felt like. It was sanctuary.
Oh,
So
that's great.
agree.
Those that are on TikTok, we're going to be moving to just YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook because our streaming platform doesn't allow us to do it at the same time. So just letting you know that now so you can kind of make the transition over. But Rob, do you want to talk about our show? Like, this is just, if you guys are liking this, you're going to like the show even better. Like,
Yeah.
tell them what we have going on for tonight.
We got eye candy. That's why
Yeah.
we have eye candy. So we have uh winner of best plastic surgeon at the last JBY Awards. We have Dr. Shivers coming on tonight. He's also my plastic surgeon who did my skin removal surgery. He's also, see, D's laughing because he knows about that liquor. And joining us actually will be another previous guest of ours. She was actually, I think, I don't know, it might have been like third, fourth show.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was before
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Mhm.
So it's Carrie, or Korean Perrier Hawkins, goes by Carrie. And so she was on the show in regards to bariatric athletes. So she would do triathlons as well. And so it was when I did my triathlon, we brought her on as well. And she recently, last Friday, had skin removal surgery with Dr. McDreamy, as Dee said,
Yeah.
with Dr. McDreamy, and it was awesome. We met up. I think it was Tuesday. We were able to meet, and I was like, "Okay, are you excited? Are you nervous?" She was super excited for it, and she had a lot done. Like she was able, and she'll share this with you, but it was like she gutted it out and sort of did everything. She's like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it all at once because I don't like the downtime, which I 100% agree. I don't like the downtime.
Mhm.
And so she got it all, and she's doing well. She's recovering. She's staying in Toronto until a little bit more, and then she's going to fly home in a bit. So
Wow.
if you have had skin removal surgery, if you are on your whole bariatric journey or weight loss journey and you are thinking about having skin removal surgery, this is going to be an amazing show. So you can talk and hear Carrie's experience, but you can also ask questions of Dr. Chivers, who's
Mhm.
great at answering. He's open to everything. He's amazing, amazing surgeon. So yeah,
Yeah.
be a good one.
And even if you're not like for me, I'm not in a place of considering plastic surgery for me at this point, but it'll be a really good conversation and like
Mhm.
we just have a lot of fun. So I've been really looking forward to this just cuz Carrie and Dr. Shivers are just really cool people. So even if you're not in that stage,
Yeah.
I still think it'll be beneficial and a help and a fun time all around.
And it was so great too because when I met with her and her husband, we had a conversation just about like um the meaning of everything that we've done and how it's
Mhm.
changed us, how it's changed our relationships. Because I was with her and her husband
Yeah.
and for the better and all these different things and the motivation to do these things and why you may or may not want it. And it was just great because it's very insightful. A lot of times, as you guys know, we always talk about the scale and the physical changes and the emotional and the mental changes and psychological changes are always there. And so that's something I hope to touch upon tonight with them.
Mhm.
So that'll be good.
Yeah, awesome. Well, TikTokers, feel free to head over to YouTube. Just type in the waiting table, WEIGHT, and or Instagram or Facebook. And this is where the sexy time music comes in.
In 3, 2, sexy.
In this moment, yes, I cannot say what's wrong or right. No, it's not hard to fool me. No, 'cause I'm addicted to the good life. Yes. Yeah, lead the way, I follow. No need to say. Where we are heading now, babe, I follow to the edge of it all, to the edge of it all. So tell your good night, 'cause I'll find no better one, yeah. Susceptible now, before the moment flies. Ooh, so tell you good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Ooh, susceptible now, before the moment flies. It's not a problem, no, 'cause I know what I'm getting into. Yes. Yeah, and nothing can stop me. No, 'cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way, I follow. No need to say. Where we are heading now, babe, I follow to the edge of it all. So tell your good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. So tell you good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Yeah, susceptible now, before the moment flies. Ooh, so tell you good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Ooh, susceptible now, before the moment flies. It's not a problem, no, 'cause I know what I'm getting into. Yes. Yeah, and nothing can stop me, no, 'cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. So tell you good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Yeah, susceptible now, before the moment flies, before it flies. So tell you good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Susceptible now, before the moment flies. Yeah, yeah, yeah. In this moment, yes, I cannot say what's wrong or right. No, it's not hard to fool me. No, 'cause I'm addicted to the good life. Yes. Yeah, lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all, to the edge of it all. So tell you good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Yeah, susceptible now, before the moment flies. Ooh, so tell you good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Ooh, susceptible now, before the moment flies. It's not a problem, no, 'cause I know what I'm getting into. Yes. Yeah. In this moment, yes, I cannot say what's wrong or right. No, it's not hard to fool me. No, 'cause I'm addicted to the good life. Yes. Yeah, lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all, to the edge of it all. So tell you good night, 'cause nothing can stop me. Cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. So tell your good night, 'cause I'll find no matter what. Yeah, susceptible now before the moment flies, before it flies. So tell your good night, 'cause I'll find no matter what. Susceptible now before the moment flies. In this moment, yes, I cannot say what's wrong or right. No, it's not hard to fool me. No, 'cause I'm addicted to the good life. Yes. Yeah, lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all.
What's up, guys? This is Rob, and I got them thighs.
What's up, guys? It's not Murph because I'm spending time with my family tonight. And hey, it's Shea. I'm the girl. And welcome to the Waiting Table podcast.
All right.
Hey,
Thank
that
you,
was a-
guys.
That was a pretty good Murph impression, right?
That was good. What does he sound like, Fat Albert?
I don't know. That's my boy voice.
That's good. I like that. I like that. So first off, thank you everyone for being patient. It would not be an episode of The Waiting Table without technical difficulties, but hopefully we got it all ironed out. So I think we should be okay.
Yeah. Well,
Shoot,
welcome to the Waiting Table podcast, where we have roundtable discussion about the coolest topics in weight loss. And tonight is no different. I'm very excited about tonight. I'm Shea. This is Rob, and Murph is spending some time with family tonight. And pull up a seat. Oh no, see, I butchered that
No,
part.
you're good. You're good.
Take a seat. Pull it. Well, how do you say it? Pull up a seat and take a seat at the table. That's not right. You say
So
that
grab
part.
a chair,
Grab a
wind down
chair
from a busy
from your
day.
busy day and take a seat at the table. Rob, how's it going?
So good. So good. We got, Murph's not here, but thankfully we have two guests. Hopefully two
Yes.
guests. If technical difficulties don't hold us up again, we're hoping, fingers crossed. No, this is going to be, I'm super happy. I'm super happy to be discussing this. This is
Mhm.
a topic that is very sort of dear to my heart, having gone through it. And I'm excited to share the story of one of our guests specifically. We're going to bring on Carrie, who is a fellow bariatric athlete. She's done triathlons. She just finished a marathon recently.
Woohoo.
And yeah, and the main reason why we're bringing her on today is because last Friday she had her skin removal surgery with none other than Dr. Chivers, who is currently trying to get out of the office. Trying to get out of home so he can go back to the office to jump on the show. So he'll be joining us shortly. But yeah, it's, coming from the point of view of another bariatric athlete, I totally see the importance of getting skin removal surgery. So I'm super, super, super excited to bring on Carrie. Thank you.
Carrie. Carrie.
From the
Hello,
hotel. Are
hello.
you in the hotel?
Yeah, I am in the hotel. Can you guys hear
Yes.
me okay? Yeah.
Yeah,
We can
yeah.
hear you.
Okay.
You look
Hey.
amazing. Like you just like,
Oh,
especially just
thank
for
you.
having surgery on Friday. How are you doing?
You know what, surprisingly really well. Like it's
Yay.
day 5 post-op, but you know, and it was getting better and better each day. But yeah, I feel really good. So
That's
That's
so awesome.
You look like
yeah.
you're doing well. Like I look like ass when
Yeah,
I
and
had
he
Well,
didn't
surgery.
even have surgery.
I didn't even. I just general. I just look like ass. That was good, Shay. You
yeah.
got me. You got me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been resting a lot, so maybe it's doing me some good, you know.
Good.
But yeah, recovering surprisingly very, very well. I kind of have to like touch wood because
Yeah.
um, I haven't really run into any issues so far, so I've been pretty lucky.
Good.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
And Jody Amanda, 27. Looking forward to hearing about your skin removal journey. She's actually
Mhm.
Canadian as well. Yes, another
Yay.
Canadian.
Oh,
I know I'm so
amazing. Yeah.
jealous of you Canadians because us Americans can't see Dr. Shivers for surgery. So
Oh,
sad. But
that is too bad. Yeah.
That is too bad.
I'm curious for both of you because you've both now had skin removal surgery. Rob, how long has it been for you now?
It was on my birthday 2 years ago.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
been a little bit for you. For
Yep.
Carrie, it's like very
5
recent.
days. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Can you walk me through the process of like deciding to have skin removal surgery when you knew it was the right choice? And also, too, maybe for people just to give a little bit of context of like how much weight you've lost and kind of what about your skin was bothering you to have surgery. That would be, I think, helpful for people.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I can start. Yeah, so I've been on a weight loss journey, right, for the last 3.5 years, and in total I had lost about 240 pounds. So
Wow.
I was left with just, you know, with a lot of excess skin. I had been in maintenance probably for the better part of the last year, I would say. Just, you know, very active, but just kind of maintaining my weight. You know, there was obviously many reasons for me from, you know, as to why I wanted to get plastic surgery. But just from a practicality standpoint, I am a runner. And the excess skin I carried around my abdomen, it just caused me a ton of discomfort. And you know, I had to wear compression garments to keep it all contained, and I had reoccurring, you know, skin infections, like specifically in the groin area as well as like the belly button area.
Yeah.
And you know, things couldn't breathe right properly, you know.
Sure.
And I know my arms too were like a major source of insecurity for me because, you know, the breast and the abdomen you can kind of cover up, right? Whereas the arms, anytime you kind of wear a short sleeve shirt, you know, they're visible, right? So, but it had really just kind of impacted my self-confidence. And I just, I was kind of at a stage where I wanted to not just feel, you know, the results of all my hard work, right? And determination. I wanted to be able to see it as well. You know, and it just, you know, looking in the mirror, oftentimes I just kind of felt, you know, quite defeated. Very proud, right, of the weight loss, not ashamed of the skin,
Hmm.
but just, you know, just really lacked in self-confidence. So,
Yeah. And
yeah.
what all did you have done, Carrie? Do you mind
Yes.
walking us through that?
Yeah. So I actually had 3 procedures done at once.
Hmm.
So I had my arms done. So I had a brachioplasty. Both arms were done. And then I had a breast lift without implant.
Hmm.
And I also had a 360-degree penniculectomy. So my
Wow.
incision is 360 degrees around my torso. And then Dr. Shivers was actually able to kind of give me a little bit of a buttock lift
Yeah.
at the same
Nice.
time. So
Great.
that, yeah, so it's really great, but certainly quite an undertaking to get everything done all at once.
Yeah.
But now that I'm 5 days post-op, I do believe that it was the right decision to do it all at once.
Good.
Yeah,
That's
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
amazing.
yeah.
I have to just jump in real quick because Steph, bariatric warrior, she just hopped on to say proof of life because she had her plastic surgery today. So I'm so glad.
Yeah.
She said
Oh, good
she's
for her.
dozing on and off, but she wanted to pop in. Yay! So
Oh,
glad
congrats,
that
Steph. The
that
fact
you're
that
out.
you're able on is
I
pretty
know.
awesome.
That's true.
That
Like
is
support and love.
awesome.
Oh my God. Like I couldn't do anything. All you guys, I think I'm
I
just a
know.
big wimp. Like I
I
couldn't
think
do
so.
anything. Oh my God.
Well,
Holy
we'll get into it. We'll get into it, Rob. But I mean, it's not easy. Recovery is
Yeah.
not easy. Like I was saying, as the days progress, it does get better. But
Mhm.
day 2 was very, very difficult.
Yeah.
Mhm.
In particular. So
Just wanted to
yeah.
share with you a lot of love going out there. The journey to a healthier me. So pumped for this episode. Had brachioplasty, breast lift, and extended tummy tuck in January. Best decision ever. She also threw in Milton
Yay.
Strong, which is where we're from.
Oh yeah.
She also said, Carrie, you look amazing. Congratulations again.
Oh, thank you.
D says, congrats, Carrie. Happy face with heart's eyes. What is there a faster way to say that? Heart eye, happy
About
face, heart eye.
that.
All
5
the
times
emojis.
5. Yeah. And one of my absolute faves. So yeah, lots of love for
Oh,
yeah, like you had a lot done at one time. Which as I had mentioned earlier, like good for you because like for
yeah.
I I wouldn't have wanted to do all that in one time because it's a lot and recovery is a lot. But based on our discussions, like I wouldn't. It's hard to go back under the knife again. For me personally, like it's not even the recovery part; it's the downtime.
Exactly.
Like I find that I'm constantly um trying to find a window, whether it's going to be from plastic surgery or tattoos or whatever, because like there's a period of time where I won't train during that time, and it's always hard for me to stop. And so that was always the thing for me. How are you finding? Was that one of the main things you were looking at in terms of downtime when you decide to have all the things at once?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was the biggest takeaway from this, from doing all 3 surgeries at once, is that I'm happy I did, because I don't know that I would have gone back under knife, like you were saying.
Yeah.
So and then I should be able to resume running again, hopefully. But honestly, it's been the best decision ever. I wouldn't have changed. I wouldn't change it, honestly. I'm very thrilled that I did everything all at once. I just feel like one recovery period.
Yeah.
And it's for people that are active, it's very challenging. 6 weeks seems like a long time, but really it's not.
Mhm.
It's going to fly by. And so in the meantime, I'm just trying to keep myself busy, with other things, right? And just spending a lot of time with friends and family, and just, being well surrounded, and, getting my steps in, but slow and steady, reading a lot,
Yeah.
whatever it is that I need to do, right? During the next 6 weeks here, to just properly recover and give my body the time it needs. I certainly don't want to regress, and then
Mhm.
have to, be in recovery longer than necessary. So I'm just going to take it easy and listen to the doctor's orders. But yeah, I think it certainly was the best decision to do it all at once.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that's really, I think, I don't want to say mature, like I'm an adult talking down to a kid, but like the way that you recognize that 6 weeks is not a super long time in the grand scheme of things, because that's what I struggled with, right? Like
Yeah.
6 weeks for me was almost, it felt like a lifetime, right? And it felt longer when I was anticipating it than it actually did, right?
Hmm.
I always think about like this whole sort of training for this show thing. Like I was
Right.
a 10-week bulk and then a 16-week cut, and I feel like now I didn't have enough time, right? So 6 weeks, it does. It just goes by quickly, right?
Yeah, it really does. Yeah.
Well, it's just so wild because like I'm thinking about doing a recovery like that before surgery, of just having downtime, of not like having any movement for 6 weeks, it's like that was just my life.
That was
Like,
fine. Yeah.
like just to not have activity. So it's just it's wild how after having surgery and losing weight, I know a lot of people in the community find this newfound passion for fitness and movement, and like I could see how that would be really scary, like almost being trapped again, like logically for good reason, of like your body needs to recover. It's gone through major surgery, but just mentally, I can imagine that would be really, really hard. I know that was hard for you, Rob, or you're kind of alluding to that, but that would be tough.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, it does, am I fearful a little bit of being off of, running and training for 6 weeks? Of course, right? I think,
Mhm.
am I going to lose some conditioning because of that?
Yeah.
Probably a little bit. But I do think that, properly giving my body the time it needs to recover, will prove to be rewarding, right? And I think that I'll
Mhm.
get back into my running, as soon as I'll be able to, and I think it'll come back quickly.
Yeah.
And I'll just take it a day at a time, right? And do what I need to do, right? To
Yeah.
get back to the fitness that I
Nice.
was before. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Awesome. I want to ask you what your experience was, and this goes back to sort of Shay's question about sort of the whole process to not just to decide to have bariatric surgery, or sorry, not bariatric, skin removal surgery,
Hmm.
but the process of actually having skin removal surgery in terms of getting consultation and
Yeah.
discussing what you wanted to do. But in order to do that, did want to bring in the man, the myth, the
That's
legend,
right.
Dr. McDreamy, as
Yes,
called
his
from some
formal
people,
name now. Mhm.
also known as Dr. Shivers. Welcome to the show. How are you, Doc?
And I thought it was Mr. March. Sorry, guys, I lost my voice otherwise today, which is crazy, but I'm
We
good.
told you not to sing that big performance before
That was
hopping
it.
on. We didn't
That
want you
was
to
it.
lose your voice.
It's all the
How are
yelling at
you?
my kid. It's all the yelling at my kids before
Yep.
going to bed. No, just kidding.
Yep. That's it. That's it. How are you, Doc?
No, I'm great. I'm great otherwise. Thanks for having me. Hi, Carrie.
Hi.
This could
Look at
have
how
gone
good
horribly
she
wrong.
looks.
I'm glad you only planned this like a day in advance because I can't believe Carrie's even here. Like at a
I
Yeah.
week
know.
at a week it's dodgy. She could have been cursing my name on this program the whole night.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
No,
we were saying she
well,
looks
I
good.
know.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was cursing his name day 2, but
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
day 5, I'm feeling pretty good. So,
Yeah,
And-
we allowed her to go home for a shower to feel like a human being today. So,
yeah.
hopefully
Yeesh.
that gets
I don't
her
know
on
if
up.
I
Yeah.
did. You know what? I say that like I think it was way longer than that when I had a shower, but I'm pretty sure it was pretty soon. It's just it all feels
It
so long,
feels, yeah.
Yeah.
right? I actually after I met with Carrie, I messaged Dr. Shivers threatening him that he has to do a good job on Carrie, and he said, "Okay, only the best."
Rob actually does
Okay.
that with every patient. Every
Everyone,
Oh,
tonight I got another surgical. I got 2 more threats this morning, and
yeah,
then
yeah,
Carrie, I
oh,
got
lovely.
Carrie. People showed up at my door for your surgery, so
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh, wow, look at that.
yeah.
So
So much support.
if you're a
Yeah.
listener of the waiting table and you are going for a consult with Dr. Shivers or a procedure with him, please let me know so I can send threats his way. So yeah, Carrie, if you can, please share with us sort of the whole process that you went through in regards to having surgery from the very beginning
And
and
why you
working.
picked Dr. Shivers too, because
Yeah.
there's other
Oh, that's a good
options. I
one. That's a
mean,
Oh,
good
so
one.
no,
many others.
yeah, but why he won the
Yeah.
contest.
Yeah.
Yeah, why he got chosen. Truthfully, I mean, I had looked into a lot of plastic surgeons, though, if I'm being honest, primarily in Alberta because that's where I live. And a lot of them had pretty steep consultation fees that were
Hmm.
non-refundable. And so if chose to not proceed with that surgeon, then you were basically kind of out that money, right? But so yeah, I also researched surgeons actually in the US, but just found that the costs were just astronomical. With the exchange rate, it didn't make a lot of sense. I essentially went with Dr. Shivers because he was super highly recommended. I talked to a lot of people, in the bariatric community that spoke very highly of him. And I just felt too that like within the initial consultation, I just immediately felt kind of at ease, comfortable, but also that he was very passionate about his work, and yet very transparent about managing expectations.
Yeah.
But also that, yeah, he just really made me feel like it was all kind of not so daunting and possible. He was excited to tackle my case.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then, so after your consult, how long was it from the consult to the actual surgery date?
I want to say it was probably about 6 to 8 months, I want to say, give
Yeah.
or take. Yeah, so yeah, about 6 to 8 months until I had surgery.
Okay. And so, I know why I went with Dr. Chivers. It's because he's so good looking. But that was number one. It was his staff. Obviously I felt very comfortable when I met with him, but I also, for me, understanding that follow-up was super, super important. It was very important for me to trust the staff. Because that's who I would be communicating with on a regular basis. They'd be putting me in touch with Dr. Chivers moving forward. And for me, that was night and day compared to anyone else. And that was one of the main reasons I chose to go with his clinic specifically, because everyone, and I interviewed people when I went in and I did consults. Like, I would ask them a lot of questions, I would email a lot of questions. Like, we're putting money down our bodies. This is all our effort. We want to make sure it's done to our satisfaction, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, they always passed with flying colors. So
Yeah. No, and,
yeah.
and I can attest to that. I mean, Dr. Shivers' staff, it has been incredible to deal with. So,
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh, good thing you're not all here. Good thing they're not listening in. Hopefully, they're not listening in on this podcast.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we even got a shout out for Jennifer and Jade.
Oh man, that's
A
great.
Journey to the Healthier Me said that they're amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are.
Great
Very
to hear,
true.
guys.
Hey, we have a question for Carrie. And maybe Dr. Shivers, you can add a little light to this. But Carrie, you were saying that day 2 was like your most intense day so far, and hopefully just in total. But Dee was asking, was it pain or discomfort, or can you like describe it a bit more?
Yeah, it was both. It was
Mm-hmm.
pain and discomfort. And just, I think just, yeah, being able to manage the pain. I don't do particularly well with narcotic pain medication in general. I just get really nauseous, and so I was managing nausea as well as the drains right on either side, as well as having the catheter in. It just was a lot, and the lack of mobility as well. Wasn't doing a whole lot of walking around. I did get out of bed.
How was
Did
that?
do it. It was difficult. It was
Yeah.
painful, difficult. And it's, but I mean, listen, I was in hospital and I did receive like amazing care. The nurses were
Yeah.
wonderful. But yeah, I think it just managing all the pain and discomfort day 2 was challenging.
And Dr. Shivers, do you find that that's generally the case for a lot of, and this goes to another question I'm going to follow up with, but for someone who, because I know what my pain was like, right? Like, I showed Carrie my video of me on day 1 and day 2 trying to get up and all that. And do you find that that amount of pain or discomfort is sort of indicative of,
Yeah,
most people? No,
I
no.
mean, it's. I tell everyone, that's right from initial consultation. Even when I show people pictures, I show people in about a week, and I say, "Oh, look, we're friends again. You'll probably hate me for
Yeah.
2 to 3 days," and it corresponds directly with inflammation. Maximal swellings at 48 to 72 hours, and swelling corresponds with pain. So that's why we have tensors and binders on, and it leads to another couple of questions too in the bariatric community about NSAIDs and stuff like that. A lot of the area, actually, the bariatric community is now saying, like short courses of NSAIDs can be okay, like very short courses, like 3 to 4 days. You don't obviously want to be on it long term for your gut and digestion, but just to get you through that first, 2-3 days of swelling, because that after you're over day 3-4, that's when you're over the hump. And by a week, people like Rob and Carrie were holding back because they're the opposite. Because at that point, they're only 10% healed, but they're trying to run their marathons and get back to the gym again. So it's the opposite effect, and even though we got Carrie on, at a week of surgery, most people kind of get over that. We have the added benefit, we're able to operate out of the hospital as well as the private clinic. So, I don't know how you found the PCA, Carrie. I agree. A lot of people hate narcotics, and want to get off it onto Tylenol. And as soon as you're off the narcotics, you feel better.
Oh,
But it's good.
100%.
It's good to bridge you for the first 24 hours and just keep you in the hospital for the first couple nights. Another thing we can give, like Ketorolac, which is a NSAID IV, so it avoids first pass metabolism, so it's actually not even going through your GI system. Again, that's kind of mixed with bariatric, whether it's good or bad too, but I think it helps. And all these things combined with tensors. I forgot to tell you, Carrie, you probably got swelling in your hands, Hulk hands, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So the tensors are on and your hands are swelled like the Hulk, but as soon as you take the tensors off, that goes away, and you're able to move your hands. You're able to mobilize, get a lot of that fluid off. Light walking, and hopefully, I see you back in 3 weeks, stuff like that. You're moving around a little bit better. Other drains out, and you'll feel like way more of a person once that's done. And by
Yeah.
6 weeks, we'll see how you're doing running.
Yep.
6 weeks and she's gonna be good for running.
I don't know. We'll see how she's doing. We'll see how she's doing for light jogging.
I feel like you will be okay.
Yeah.
Like your recovery is
think
going really
You know,
well.
I would be good for running my 3 to 5, Carrie. We're gonna have to put like one of those
Yeah.
pedometers on her, and if she's running over,
Yeah.
10 kilometers or whatever else, we'd have to hold her
Because
down.
like that was my
But-
question every single time I talked
Yeah.
to Dr. Chivers. He was like, "Oh, do you have any questions?" I'm like, "Same question. You know what I'm gonna ask."
Yeah.
He's like, "Not yet." He's like,
Yeah.
"Okay, we'll see this, and then we'll go." And so, yeah, no.
I'll likely be
10
asking
to
the same
20% of
question.
people, they need little revisions. Rob, I can't get in for a revision because he's I got a pickleball tournament. I got
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
Let me schedule 2 years from now.
Maybe in a
Classic.
couple of years. Yeah.
A couple of things. So number one, D says, "I can't believe that I'm being the good one tonight." See, he's
We'll see how
behaving.
long that lasts.
Yeah. Ik Vetch, I don't know how to pronounce that. Says Dr. Chivers has the best bedside manner and his staff are unreal. Here's a great question. My gastric sleeve odyssey. I haven't seen any other patients have all 3 procedures done at the time like Carrie did. Dr. Chivers disappeared on us. He's a magician.
Uh-oh. He'll be back.
He'll be back. They asked, is this a doctor's preference? And we'll ask him as well. Is this a doctor's preference, or is it the risk to the patient that will determine what all can be done? So based on your conversations with him about having all 3, there he is. I'll reread that.
Back on.
No
Yeah.
worries. So I'll repeat that question, Dr. Chivers. I haven't seen any other patients have all 3 procedures done at one time like Carrie did. Is it the doctor's preference, or is it the risk to the patient that will determine what all can be done at one time?
It's a combination. So, I'll be honest, I've done 4 procedures on people. And Carrie actually did have 4. I've done 5, but I don't want to give too much about your procedures away, Carrie. But, like your foot
no,
and
it's
torsion
fine.
as well. So up and down. But it's really about, it's about looking at the patient holistically. A lot of patients, if they're gastric bypass, they may have anemia. So you want to optimize that. And that iron absorption is different for every patient. So if they're terribly anemic, we want to get them optimized as high as possible. They have to be accepting, we might be giving them iron in the hospital or potentially transfusion risk. So you might want to not do as many procedures in that type of patient as well. Obviously, their overall health, Carrie's running marathons, could be no problem for her to recover. Her heart rate didn't go above 50, I think, in the whole procedure, and is blood pressure completely stable. So
Crazy. Yeah.
that's great for her. But Carrie is a big she lost 240 pounds, guys. Like, this is no small act. And Carrie's pretty tall. I don't know if you saw a picture recently. She's given me a hug, and and she's as tall as me or taller for sure.
I was on tippy toes. Felt very emasculated.
Exactly. As usual. Just like with Rob, exactly. So, you know, it wasn't a small feat, but you know, your hemoglobin and everything. The one thing in hospital, like we operate out of the private clinic as well as the hospital. So I would never do 3 procedures on someone in the private clinic. It's just not,
Hmm.
Mm.
it's not safe. And, you know, I can't monitor them, but you know, Carrie, we kept overnight a couple nights. I'm able to see her
Yeah.
vitals at all times on my phone and her hemoglobin. And if she needs an intervention, she can get it. So that's why I maintain hospital privileges. And,
Yeah.
you know, that's why you know, I do what I do there because I love doing these types of procedures, and obviously the recovery all at once is beneficial for a lot of people,
Yeah.
and it just helps get along the journey because especially in the bariatric procedures, you know, plastic surgery is a little bit addictive for some people and they want a lot done, and you know, if you're going to do 3, 4 procedures, not only the cost is probably higher too because you got to go to sleep 2, 3 times and you're eating that cost, but yeah, the recovery and the time off work and coming from Calgary, you know, that's another
Yeah.
thing. That's a whole other element
Hmm.
of Carrie's care. It's not like I can
Yeah.
just see her every 2 minutes if there's a complication. So Carrie's given up, you know, 3 weeks of her life here at all times, you know, where she's able to come in, even though she's visiting family and stuff. She's still, you know, not in her province, and that's a big thing too. And so, you know, it also allows us to keep her in, you know, close eye in the hospital like that for at least a couple days and watch for immediate complications, short-term complications. But you don't want to be doing that too many times, that's for sure.
So 3 weeks, that was one of the questions. That's how
Yeah.
long you're away from home, Carrie? 3 weeks
Yeah.
total?
Well, in total, I'll have been away from home for about a month.
Okay,
By the time I go back to Alberta, and then I'm on short-term disability from work for about 6 weeks total.
great.
Yeah.
Really good questions coming up here, guys.
Mhm.
How do you decide? Jody Amanda 27 asks, and I think a lot of people are asking versions of this. How do you decide what to do? And is there a specific weight you would do this at? BMI question mark. And then is there a weight or body fat you have to be at to get plastic surgery for weight loss? So all these questions all in one. So Dr. Shivers, I'll let you go with that one.
Yeah, no problem. I'm a glorified tailor, guys, with a big medical background, but you know, it's I always throw this back to people, right?
Yeah.
Because there's people that are, you know, obviously you want to be at a healthy BMI, right? Like, so what that means probably, you know, I probably wouldn't operate on anyone with a BMI over 40. So let's throw that out there because at that point it's probably weight loss that, you know, is going to do you more, you know, do you more good before you're ready to go. But then between there, there's a lot of gray area, right? Because there's people that are 220 pounds that, you know, came from 450 to they'd be at 225 for 3 years, 4 years, and they're happy. You know, they're not
Yeah.
athletes, they're not running marathons. They just want to look better and they're stable. I always tell people, you know, 5, 10 pounds, that's Christmas, that's a cruise. But, you know, if, you know, you're flex, you know, at 225, if you've been that way for 3 years, you know, we can make you look better. And so, and if as long as you're healthy, otherwise medically ready, you know, we can operate. And I'm a tailor, right? Like I'm bringing a jacket in, I'm bringing your clothes in, your skin in to make it fit better. So, you know, we can tailor it. But the caveat to that is if you're not stable, that's why I always ask it to people themselves. You know, if you lose 50 pounds, you're going to need to do it again because you're going to have more loose skin. So it's a personal question. So
Yeah.
you have to know where your weight's at. You have to know where you're at on your journey. And whenever you're ready, I'm there to help. But only you know the answer to that question.
That's a great answer because I think a lot of times, especially post-op, there's a lot of the discussion that, oh, you need to be at least maintaining for a year and you need to have lost a specific amount. But again, it comes down to what you want, right? Not everyone, people may want skin removal surgery for the aesthetics. People may want it for prevention of medical issues or lifestyle issues. Maybe they don't even care to be shirtless or anything like that or matter. That may not matter, right? So I like, and this is something that I really did enjoy about the consultation process with you is you did put that back to me where other surgeons did not, right? And I think that was a big thing for me because, you know, where I am now, when I started doing the consultations, I wasn't a year in, I don't think yet. And so it was, but I was at a weight that I felt was good. Um, would I have, knowing what I know now and where I am now, you know, I could have waited and probably done a bit more, but you never know what you're going to do. Right. Um, but yeah, I really enjoyed how you put that back onto the patient to have that discussion with themselves. Right. it's important.
Yeah, and then I think there's a little bit of confusion too, in the community. Like, when people are dealing straight with, just straight mommy makeovers and the really tiny
Yeah,
tummies, then, those clinics that are only able to operate in a private center, they may have restrictions like BMIs of 30, and then
sure.
that gets out there in the community, the bariatric community, that they have to be a BMI of 30. And that's not true, right? If you're operating safely in a hospital, sure, you might divide your procedures up. You might, make sure your iron's optimized with iron transfusion nurses. And we take precautions that way. We want to make sure medically you're cleared, and we get anesthesia to see people that, that have sleep apnea or other medical problems that need to be managed before surgery. But in the hospital, we're able to do a little bit more in terms of that, and get people to their destination ultimately, or just divide things up and do them safely in the private clinic if people are able. But it's nuanced, and so you'll always hear someone say, "Oh, don't have weight above a BMI of 35," and that's not true either. It's just know yourself and know where you're at on your journey and what you're going to be happy with. That's the biggest thing, and wherever
Yeah.
you're comfortable, then you can do the surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Sharky Chicky 13. I hope that answers your question as well. I know you gave very specifics about yours. Uh, Sharky Chicky is only 7 months post-op, but down 136 in regards to overall weight. Again, it depends on where you are in your journey and what you're looking for.
One thing I'd like to throw out just to consider too is like more of the mental and emotional
Yeah,
component to this,
yeah,
where it's not always just physical, but like I know for me, my body image and like the way I view myself has changed so much over the last couple years, where just personally for me, I think doing it before, honestly, probably before now, I don't think for myself mentally or emotionally it would have been good. I think I've needed this time to kind of come to terms with like what my body really is and kind of work through some of that body distortion piece. And so again, that's just my personally for me, but something else to consider where I think a lot of times we talk about the physical considerations, but also like the mental and emotional pieces I think are important to consider as well. And those Rob, Carrie, Dr. Shivers who are in that more, if you have anything to add of like things that you've seen that back that up, that might be helpful too.
Yeah, no, I kind of spoke about it a little bit in the beginning, Shay, before Dr. Shivers came on. I think for me, it just was the all of the loose skin had really impacted my self-confidence, right? So I had to kind of work through that. But I wanted to just not feel the results, like I was saying, of all my hard work. I wanted to see them as well. So yeah, so I'm super grateful today. But it's for sure, like even today I was at my post-op appointment, and just a renewed sense of self-confidence just looking at myself now. It's like it's
yeah,
incredible, right?
I think, Shay,
Um,
we also have to think about like Rob and Carrie are
mhm.
like elite athletes, right? Like I learned from these guys, and I think a lot of people, aren't doing quite as much, in terms of activity as Rob and Carrie. And I'm super happy. I've dropped 25, 35 pounds, and it's yeah, exactly. I'm thrilled with it. But how much there is to learn about that, nutrition and sleep and macros and all these things that eventually come with time if you put the effort into it all. And now, like with a lot of like weight loss drugs, like Ozempic and Wegovy and stuff like that, people can lose a lot of weight quickly, and they're great drugs. They're great tools. But you still got to learn those lessons, or else you can regain. And that's where it becomes hard as a plastic surgeon. When someone comes in, it's sad. So it's only happened very
Mm,
rarely. But if someone's not stable, or they think they're stable and they're rushing to get down to a weight, you operate on them because they have reached that weight, and then they regain a bunch of weight. And you kind of want to do that regain and learning phase, for me personally, before you have plastics. And once you really feel like you're stable and you've got it, whatever
yeah.
you're at, you're happy with, you've got it.
yeah.
And first off, yeah, I would like to definitely shout out Dr. Chivers. So Dr. Chivers sends me like before after progress photos, which is amazing. I'm just like, this is so awesome that you're sending me this. Like I'm genuinely excited for him because I know you're putting in a lot of hard work. We've had discussions about that. And Shay, in regards to your question, like, and so there's a lot of people who will mention it. Like I know Fit Dad for Life has mentioned it in terms of the way he likes to see himself in the mirror now, and how annoying the loose skin was. I know, Eric, I know I've talked with him about it as well, but yeah, I think that for me, mentally, psychologically, and emotionally, I think yes, losing the weight was great, but I was the same weight that I am now prior to getting the skin removed, but my confidence is significantly higher now. And so here's the thing, like I'll walk around, and I've had this discussion with Dr. Chivers. I am a keloid scar, right? And so I have a lot of raised scars, not over the main incisions. Those actually healed very, very beautifully. It's over the dumbest, superficial, annoying, yeah, the sutures. It's the sutures that really, like the ones that dissolve and that come out a little. It's those that actually left the biggest scars on me, not the main work that Dr. Shivers did, which is frustrating on my end. But it was like, I don't care about those. Like, so every time, like when we're at the
I do.
resort,
I want him to come back in and fix some of the stuff.
and I was going to actually ask you to go do something before I went on vacation, but I don't have time. So now I'm just like, can we do something before like
it's open.
the
You
show?
come in once once you get your hip done, and we'll do it
Yeah,
at
yeah.
the same time.
See, like this is why you go to Dr. Shivers, guys.
Well, and Dr. Shivers, you should talk about today when I was at my post-op appointment. I mean, this is my first post-op appointment, okay? We're taking my dressings off. Like, I am fresh, okay? Day 5. And he's already looking at spots saying, oh, well, maybe down the line I can maybe correct this.
Yeah.
Like, that's the perfectionist and the artist that he is, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, like you, Rob, I was like, I don't give a crap. Like, I look
Yeah.
at the overall picture and
Yeah.
I'm like, this is amazing,
Yeah.
So,
And you just feel good about yourself. Like
you do,
people will
yeah.
look at me. Can you see my scars? Yes. It's very obvious that I had skin removal surgery. But it doesn't matter to me because I will take that compared to the apron that I had and all the other loose skin and all these other challenges I had. And so psychologically, and this is going to be different for everyone, but for me, it was more so than like the bariatric surgery. It was the biggest confidence booster for me. So I always advocate for it to a lot of people if they're willing to, and if they're interested in it, for sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome too, because Asian skin, black skin can keloid,
Yes.
but it doesn't always. But Asian skin is pretty much the worst for scarring, just
Yeah.
because keloid's number one, and contrast from skin tones. It makes the
Yeah.
scars far more apparent. White people, we scar with these giant big scars, and for the first 6 months, we're like, what have we done to ourselves? But generally, at a year to a year and a half, those scars fade out to almost imperceptible. But suns for Asians, sunscreen and all this stuff is really important, and keloids is just unfortunate. They can happen to
Yeah.
certain genetic predispositions, but one day we'll get Rob in and we'll try and make him.
I know. One day, over the winter.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Between pickleball games is when Rob will fill me in. He'll be like, "Yeah, I've got a game at 3 and 5."
Yeah, like can we do
Just do a
something?
quick
or-
snip, a quick
Yeah,
little
quick
removal.
little fix up there. Mary in motion. Hey, Mary, how are you? Thanks for joining us. My surgeon would only do a tummy tuck. I need a 360, and I need my inner thighs, breasts, and arms done. Could that all be done at the same time?
I mean, I'd have to meet you first, right? Like just to, again, go over all the, where you're at weight wise and all that stuff. But in a private center, it might not be as feasible. In a hospital, if you're healthy, you can. Yeah, I mean, I do those procedures together, but that's caveated with, I'd have to just meet you, go over your medical history, make sure everything's stable. Your hemoglobin's as high as it can be, and you're healthy otherwise.
And I'm sure that's like doctor preference too, I'm sure, right? Like I'm sure there's some doctors who probably would say like they wouldn't be willing to do that, even right? Like that kind of plays into it as well, right?
Yeah, some doctors just want to do like single procedures, because that's going to be the safest way to do things for sure. Not that generally surgery has less risk than driving on a highway, and time under anesthesia is generally pretty safe. Anything under 6 to 8 hours, 6 for sure. But and obviously there's higher blood clot risks and things like that. But again, you're taking steps to prevent that. You're wearing sequential compression stockings. We've got something that squeezes your legs when you're asleep. You're going to wear your TEDs. Hope you're still wearing them, Carrie, for the full week. I don't always put people on fragment if they're healthy, because that can cause another problem of too much bleeding. But if they have a history to more like blood clots, then we'll put people on fragment. But again, we kept Carrie in hospital for a couple of days, right? Like, this isn't something you're gonna do in a private center and send someone home right away. Just generally pain wise, they're not going to tolerate it too. They're not going to just hop out of a private surgical center having 3 procedures done and go home and call you the next morning telling you how much they love you. It's not going to happen. So they're probably never going to leave the surgical center, and just pain wise and tolerance wise, it's not going to work. So and I have a private center, so almost here, Rob. I can give you a tour here eventually. But
Yes.
in single procedures or maybe double procedures in private centers, anything more we're going to do in the hospital for sure.
Nice. Jody Amanda 27 says, thank you for sharing all of this. I'm 3 years out this June and have thought about skin removal, but always on the fence about it. I appreciate this talk. Jody, if you do have any questions, please reach out to any of us. Even better, talk to Dr. Chivers. He will answer all your questions. His team is great. They'll all answer all your questions. But I think it's always scary to not take that step, because you feel like if you go for a consult, like you're committed, and it's not. This is for you to find out if it's for you or not, right? And even though you may reach out to me and we'll talk, I'm not going to be able to give you all the answers. And I do appreciate how Dr. Chivers' team is very honest about it, right? Like at the end of the day, he wants to do what's best for you and what you want. And it's different for everyone. So again, ask us any questions. I'm sure Carrie is available if you have any questions.
Absolutely, yeah.
And again, Dr. Shivers as well.
And I just wanted
I'll say this on the consult fees. Like, I hate taking people's money for consult fees, because I'm interviewing you as much as you're interviewing me.
Yeah.
Like, I want it to be a good fit. And there's no pressure ever to have surgery with me. And I don't want anyone to feel like they've lost anything from coming to see me. And I don't want to feel pressured that if I don't feel like I can live up to a person's expectations or deliver on what they want, that I don't feel I'm pressured to operate on them too. So really, it's just a meet and greet and discussion of goals and wants on both sides.
I also just want to confirm that nothing's changed, but you can only see Canadians, right, Dr. Shivers?
Right now, we're not in Canada. You're not allowed to operate on Americans just because your legal system. The CMP doesn't protect us. Yes, as of right now, they've just reached out to me in Dubai as of yesterday, and
Wow.
I don't know if I'm gonna go yet, but they've actually already got my medical license there, working in the works. So, but I don't think I'm gonna go, and it's farther for you even to go than the States. But
Yeah.
I think people would do it though. Like if there was a workaround, like, cause that's the one thing I'm not at a point of wanting plastics quite yet. Cause I want to have babies and then I want to do everything after that. But I'm like, that's what sucks. It's like, I would love to come see you. I'd go to Dubai. Like, I don't know. I think
for
other
a
people would
vacation.
too.
They've got me signed up. They want me to come and check it out. If I end up doing it, I want to be able to go there, like once every 3 months, just to be able to check on patients, see how they're doing, right? So it's a pretty good commitment on my part.
Sure.
And if my wife will let me go, and
don't do more, man.
I'm gonna say
Family
you have a lot to
time.
your plate already. Yeah.
Exactly.
I know.
Exactly. It might just be a nice honor to have, but we'll see. I don't know 100%, but exactly.
That's awesome. I do want to just share this one comment from Eric for anyone thinking about it or had surgery. I was at the pool for the first time and had a brief moment of anxiety because of the chest scars. Once he got past that anxiety, felt amazing to be shirtless at the pool for the first time in decades, which is again what it's all about, right? Just feeling comfortable in your own skin and being happy about what you are and what you look like. So that is awesome. Super happy for you, man.
Yeah.
D said and this is when you said you can't operate on Americans. He slid down the wall crying, and he's Googling, how do I become a Canadian?
See, See, people are going to try to get
Yeah.
dual citizenship to come out to see you, Dr.
To come out
Shivers.
to see Dr. Shivers, yeah.
I'm going to claim Rob as my dad so that way I can get dual
Old enough.
citizenship.
Old enough.
I won't let you forget it either.
Sheesh. I don't want to keep you guys too long. I know we have only a couple minutes left. Carrie, if you could share anything, your main takeaway from this whole process, or your main thoughts on all this, what would you share?
My main thoughts. Well, I would say, maybe my recommendation, I guess, is just, I don't know, do the research, find this, the right surgeon for you. I also recommend that it is a significant financial investment. I recommend you start saving your money early on in your weight loss journey, just so that it's not, maybe as much of a shock when the time comes. But I think that also, if you go into plastics as healthy as you can possibly be, I think you'll reap the rewards on the recovery side of things.
Yeah.
So I would, I would really just recommend just being as healthy as you possibly can be going into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after all the pain, no regrets?
No, I honestly, like I said, it was just really the one day for me. And then from then it was just progressively getting better and better, and no regrets. I don't know that I'll have any other procedures done. I mean, I was over the moon happy today when I saw, what Dr. Shivers was able to accomplish. And but I still have 5-6 weeks of recovery ahead of me. Things, swelling needs to come down, things need to settle. I'm excited to see, honestly, too, what I'm going to feel like getting back into training and running after, because I mean, I'm no longer going to have that 20-pound vest, right, that I was carrying around. So I'm curious to see what that's going to feel like too, right? So.
Mentally, it's always there, though. Like every time I play sports, I'm constantly adjusting my waistband because I'm used to having a sweaty penis, right? So I'm always adjusting it because I'm just like, oh my God, I'm sweating. And I'm just like, oh, let me just adjust it. And I'm like, it's not there. But even then, like 2 years after, it's still there to me.
It's your
right?
ghost
Carrie,
penis.
how many times when you can see your abs after, being marathon runners, were you pulling things down just because you're like, you have abs, but you're just pulling everything down so you can see them?
Oh,
I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now, but I can only see like maybe one ab, maybe like
So you've got the one keg.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I'm actually really looking forward to like putting on some muscle and really working on like body composition and seeing what I could accomplish too, right? Like I would like to see what it's like to have some abs, right? I don't know what that's like. I also don't know what it's like to wear a 2-piece swimsuit. I don't think I've ever done that, I don't think I've ever had enough confidence to be able to do that, even aside from the weight and the excess skin, right? So I think the possibilities are endless, and I'm thrilled, and today was a good day. So
it's always just so humbling to me to hear people like Rob and Carrie say that they're not confident when they're already like in better shape than all of us. Like it's crazy. It's crazy to me that takes that little bit of time to not realize that you're totally enough, and you're healthier than 99.9% of the population, guys, and give yourself a giant pat on the back. And 240 pounds in a marathon is not an average person. So Gary, that's awesome. Rob, every day he seems to amaze me, pickleball Ontario champion and everything else you do. So
thank you.
Carry on.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, people are wondering too, where can they follow your journey, Carrie? Where can they get in touch with you, Dr. Shivers? How do people get more Carrie and Dr. Shivers?
Well, I'm on Instagram. I'm a little bit active, not as much maybe as I could be, but again, you can see me on Instagram, Carrie_Perrier_Hawkins. Reach out. I'm always willing to answer questions and share anything that I can about my journey. I posted a couple of reels. You can kind of see where I started and where I'm at now. I'm actually working on a little before and after here with this plastic surgery, so stay tuned for that. But mainly on Instagram.
Nice.
I'm useless in social media. Rob has to show me every day. It took me 30 minutes to join this podcast. You can find me at I don't know. Fuck you. Rob, I'll
Doc-
tell you where you can find me.
Dr. Shivers is at Dr. Shivers on Instagram. You can also just Google him. D has one tab open to find out how to be a Canadian. The other
Yeah.
tab is probably just Googling Dr. Shivers.
Dr.
He'll come
Shivers.
up with Canadian. What's your full clinic name, Dr.
Canadian Plastic Surgery Center. You know what? I'm gonna look into this operating on Americans a little bit more. I'm gonna try. I'll see what I can do.
Yes, or else we're all just
Yeah.
gonna become
Most
Canadians.
people just totally decline it, just because it's a hassle. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can drum up. What the rules are.
Oh, you're getting us
Stay
excited.
tuned, guys.
Yeah, I know. The big thing is if there's complications, right? Like, because in Canada everything's kind of covered, so you want people, to be here. That I don't want everyone to have added costs of
Yeah.
and stuff. Americans are used to that because everything's an added cost there. But,
Yep.
Yeah.
D said that you can find Dr.
Yes.
Shivers on my favorite page on the bariatric men's calendar, which he is Mr.
March.
March.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
So
It's March always at D's house.
at
Yes,
D's.
exactly.
How much money did we raise for that calendar, Rob? Was it negative? Did you do well?
We did okay.
Okay, good.
We didn't unfortunately yet raise enough to get the full surgery. But hopefully people, even though we're halfway through the year, hopefully we can still keep raising money.
It's
or
gonna get
find
better.
another
We
way.
started off in March, right? Like it's gotta get better.
Yeah.
We got Murph coming up in July.
Yeah.
So if you guys are wanting to have your calendar before July for Murph,
That's the month.
Mr. July.
Awesome. Well, you know what, Carrie, I am super, super excited for you. I can't wait to follow along with your whole journey, and obviously not just with the skin removal, but with all the training and everything you're putting into it. Like, this is so amazing. So keep us posted.
I want to see improved marathon times. I can't wait.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Before you were going to
100%.
sleep, you were talking about marathons, Carrie. I don't know if you remember.
No, I am excited to see that, honestly. Like, I'm running the Chicago Marathon in October, so I will let you know. I'll let you know how it goes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Dr. Chivers, I have one last question for you. When Carrie went under, what song were you listening to?
Oh my God, yes. I don't even know that.
Because I honestly, every time I went to have surgery, and even with my job when I'm in the OR with surgeons, I'm always like so surprised at how it's not what I see in TV, and it's just people with music playing and sort of
just doing their job.
Yeah. Super
I
relaxed.
usually ask the patient what they want to go to sleep with. Country gets vetoed, even though I like country music. It's been a lot. Really recently, it's been like some house, some tropical house, and things like that, just to mix it up from the top 40. But usually it's Spotify, some sort of playlist.
Nice.
Nice.
Dr. Shivers, again, thank you very much for joining
Hey
us.
guys, thanks for having me. Carrie, thanks for
schedule.
coming 1 week after surgery. It's incredible.
Awesome. And thanks everyone for joining us on another episode of the Waiting Table Podcast, where we're serving the weight loss community
1 pound at a
How come every time you do that, the word time never comes out?
I think the octave just gets so low, my microphone doesn't know how to pick it up.
I think it is 1 pound at and then you just do that. Oh my God. Thank you guys very much. Carrie, it's gonna be awesome.
Bye.
Good luck, guys. Have a good night, all.